were found here in 1908, the colonists fenced off the area. This was the Sperrgebiet, the forbidden zone. Lüderitz became home to hundreds of daring German fortune hunters. Their town soon became a base to open up the country. With a new railroad into the interior. You can still see the water tank that slaked the locomotive's thirst halfway down the line. Water is still a precious commodity today. But by 1915, in the First World War, it was all over. The German forces were defeated by Britain's South African allies. Those that could, left. Others stayed longer at the Allies' prisoner of war camp at Aus, deep in the desert. Some stayed here forever. Both sides left their horses behind. Left for dead, 50 survived. Because of this one round well at Garrub. Today, 150 of their descendants pace the desert, looking for the seemingly impossible. Something to eat. This stretch between Lüderitz and Aus sees nothing but rare patches of grass after even rarer rain. And they have to find the grass before thirst forces them back to the waterhole. They can never stray more than 40 kilometers from the water. A stallion or two take the lead. Sometimes a mare takes charge, whoever's the strongest. In July, in the southern winter, at the end of 11 months, a foal comes into the world. Mares gather round in support. Stallion stamps out his claim to fatherhood. He'll protect his foal against a jealous attack from other stallions. Standing and suckling, the foal's first small victory. own laws. Obeying them made the Namibs a breed apart. Their 10 or so families and bachelor groups recombine constantly as they wander. Foals sometimes have to be protected from exuberant adolescents. Even bushman grass, dry and lacking in nutrients, is a luxury here. This is the time for the winter rains, but they haven't come. Without them, life will get much harder for the horses. They can never leave this desert. They can't reach the fertile regions to the south. Beyond the giant trench of the Fish River Canyon. Across the desert, the foal has survived its first weeks. At high noon it can reach 40 degrees. At night, temperatures can dip below zero. Up to half of the young die in their first months. He's come into a harsh world. The ritual of the dung pile helps keep the horses together. It provides plenty of information. It tells the herd if the lead stallion is still strong enough to defend his mares, whether he has found good grazing grounds, or whether one of his mares is in estrus. Unrest breaks out among the horses. The lead stallion must fight to keep his rivals in check and to defend his mares. This time, he succeeds. The heat of the day ends with a relaxing roll in the dust. This is a harsh year for the horses of Africa's Wild West. Again and again, the search for grazing land has been in vain. With summer past its peak, there's still no sign of rain. Now seriously emaciated, the horses set off again in search of food. They'll have to make do with roots and dried out twigs. Like all horses, they can recycle their own dung. It's now the only source of extra nourishment. The mineral deficiency will be a death sentence for many. For the old, the young, even for mares that have given birth, they need so much more energy to provide milk for their foals. This mare was left behind. She became a welcome meal for hyenas and jackals. Even without a predator, prospects can be poor. If a foal can't stand, it can't suckle. A mare won't lie down to feed her young. It would be too dangerous. The stallion has no choice. He must return to protect the herd. But in the end, he just wasn't strong enough. Briefly, the rain collects in the hollows. The Namibs have survived the harshness of the desert for another year, in an environment they were never made for, to become a symbol of one of the most fantastic places on our Earth. When diamonds were found here in 1908, the colonists fenced off the area. This was the Sperrgebiet, the forbidden zone. Lüderitz became home to hundreds of daring German fortune hunters. Their town soon became a base to open up the country. With a new railway